Do not erase the sound. Every frequency remembers. This single, chilling sentence was the unofficial motto of the Ministry of Information's Acoustic Systems Division. And, at its heart, was Dr. Adrian Lê, one of the few engineers in the country licensed to work with neural interference frequencies. These weren't just sounds. They were patterns that could trigger emotions, memories, even biological responses in the listener. For years, Adrian's job was to create silence. He was a master at removing the unwanted, the parasitic echoes from a crucial speech. The corruption in historical archives, even the subtle, manipulative signals hidden in political broadcasts. He was the man who made noise disappear, until the government handed him his strangest and final assignment: erase every trace of the Kaluskos recordings. The file was a ghost. Labeled Kaluskos files 0013 through 0015 had materialized simultaneously across multiple darknet servers. All of them shared a single, unnerving characteristic: a bass tempo of exactly 72 beats per minute. Their origin was a complete mystery. But the effect was not. Every single person who listened reported the same disturbing hallucination: the faint sound of small wheels turning, and the chillingly intimate sensation of a child breathing softly, right next to their ear. Adrian, confident in his skills, began his analysis. He loaded the waveform, his eyes scanning the digital representation of the sound. That's when he saw it. A faint, almost imperceptible rhythmic pulse, hiding behind the main frequency. It was a ghost in the machine, something that simply didn't belong. This wasn't just background noise. He initiated an inversion sweep, a standard procedure to isolate and cancel out unwanted frequencies. As the inverted waveform appeared on his screen, he froze. A cold dread washed over him. This wasn't noise. It was a heartbeat, a tiny, fragile, newborn's heartbeat. And it was repeating every 6 seconds, perfectly, impossibly synchronized to that 72 BPM tempo. His hands trembled slightly as he created a new file, labeling it with a sense of foreboding Kaluskos, Nol Nol Satunam. His laboratory log, dated April 13th, captures the moment things began to unravel. I played the inverted frequency at 72 Hz, he wrote, to cancel out the original sound. But the feedback loop refused to flatten. The signal, it regenerated itself. This was impossible. Standard phase cancellation should have resulted in absolute silence. Instead, as he increased the decibel threshold, a second waveform bloomed on the screen, growing stronger with each cycle. It was like a voice desperately trying to break through a wall of static. He had to hear it for himself. Adrian put on his professional-grade headphones, isolating himself with the sound. At first, there was only a hiss. Then, underneath it, something else emerged. Faint laughter. Children's laughter, echoing from an impossible distance. And then, a whisper, so close it felt like it was inside his own head. "Did you really think you could erase me?" Adrenaline surged through him. Adrian tore the headphones from his head, his heart pounding against his ribs. But silencing his own ears didn't stop it. The waveform on his monitor continued to mutate, evolving on its own. It was no longer just a file. It was alive, and it was spreading. One by one, every monitor in the lab flickered. The screens filled with a single, endlessly repeating line of text: KALUS_017.mp3 created. The official, internal investigation report from the following morning is sterile. Clinical, but the horror bleeds through the jargon. At 2:13 a.m. on April 14th, the anomalous signal began broadcasting through the entire laboratory's PA system. It persisted even after a full power shutdown. Terrified personnel reported hearing the sounds of metal dragging on concrete, of small wheels turning, and of rapid, panicked breathing coming from inside the walls themselves. Then, the emergency power failed. But the sound didn't stop. It continued to broadcast from microphones that were physically unplugged from any power source. The laws of physics had ceased to apply. Dr. Adrian Lê was officially reported missing at 2:47 a.m. His workstation was found just as he had left it, running a looped playback of Kaluskos _017.mp3. And on his desk, his handwritten notebook lay open to its final, terrifying entry. Sound does not need speakers to be heard. It only needs someone to listen. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most unsettling modern mysteries. If you enjoy stories that blur the line between science and the supernatural, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next exploration into the unknown. We'll see you in the next one.